Good evening, everybody. I am starting to see attendees coming into our webinar, so I'm just going to give it maybe a couple of seconds, and then we are going to start with our webinar for this evening. So thanks in advance, everybody who's joining us. So good evening, everybody, and thank you for joining us for our Women on the MBA webinar for this year. This is an initiative that we are really proud to be able to offer. We've been doing this for the last few years. And thanks again for everybody who's coming online, or who's been online already for a few seconds. I'm the director of the UCD Smurfit Business School, associate dean in the College of Business, and I'm a professor in the college. It's a true pleasure to be here and welcoming everybody. This event is really an opportunity for us to showcase our MBA programs. And we are going to start our webinar very soon with a presentation on an overview, really, of what is special about our MBAs, a bit about our experience. But soon after that, we are going to start the panel discussion, which is an opportunity for all of you to hear directly from our current students and alumni on their thinking when they were where you are right now, when they were thinking about an MBA, and really have a chance to hear about what is their experience, whether in the program at the moment or having gone through the program. And your opportunity also, and I would invite you already for from very soon when we hear about the presentation, if you have any questions, whether on the MBA or whether for our panelists or later on any part of our webinar, there is a Q&A box, and we will be keeping an eye on the Q&A box during the course of the webinar. And we are going to be returning to questions that we see that you have at the end in the Q&A section at the end of the panel discussion. So again, true pleasure to have you over here and having a chance to tell you all about our program, to have you hear about our program. I'm gonna move on then to the next part, which is the presentation of our MBA program, and look forward to seeing you again at the end for our panel discussion.
I apologize, my microphone was shut down. So good evening, everyone. And thanks, Emil Federica, for giving me the floor. I'm Luca Pistilli, assistant professor here at UCD, and I'm the co-director of the MBA program. So I'm delighted to have this opportunity to talk to you about the UCD Smurfit MBA, a globally recognized program designed to help ambitious professionals like you to take the next step in your career. So over the next 15 minutes, I will walk you through why an MBA is a powerful investment, what makes the Smurfit MBA something unique, and why Dublin and Ireland provide an ideal environment for your professional growth. Now, let's start with a very important question. Why pursue an MBA? Now, there are three main reasons why professionals choose this path. Number one is a globally recognized qualification. So an MBA is not just another degree. It's a passport to more career opportunities, no matter where you go in the world. Number two, it enables career transformation. So whether you're looking to move up in your current field, pivot to a new industry, or even start your own business, an MBA equips you with the skills and knowledge to make that shift. Last but not least, it helps unlock leadership potential. The Smurfit MBA in particular is designed to refine your leadership capabilities, helping you develop the confidence, strategic thinking, and decision-making skills needed to succeed at the highest level. So this is not just an academic program, it's an investment in your future, in how you think, lead, and make an impact. Now, when choosing an MBA, credibility matters. The UCD Smurfit School is Ireland's leading business school and is consistently ranked among the best schools in the world. Now, just to mention some data to you this evening. So UCD is the top 1% of global universities We are ranked #1 in Ireland for sustainability, according to the QS Sustainability Rankings 2024. And the MBA Smurfit is the only full-time MBA in Ireland ranked in the Financial Times Global Rankings 2025, placing us 73rd globally. We are also triple accredited, which means places us among an elite group of business schools worldwide. So this implies our degrees globally recognized and respected by employers, ensuring strong career perspectives for our graduates. So what sets the Smurfit MBA apart from other business schools? So here we have a list of key factors. #1, world-class faculty. So you will be learning from some of the most respected, research-intensive academics who are also regularly featured in global media. #2, career impact. Our dedicated UCD Careers Network is highly ranked, and the LEAP module provides award-winning career development support. #3, global alumni network. So you will have access to a strong, accessible, and active network of graduates working in top firms around the world. Then sustainability and diversity focus. So UCD in general and the Smurfit School in particular are committed to green initiatives and promoting an inclusive, diverse learning environment. A dedicated campus. So the Smurfit campus is located in a peaceful seaside village, which is Blackrock, while still being minutes away from the vibrant business hub of Dublin. This creates an ideal balance between focus and access to many facilities. Last but not least, global business experiences. So the Smurfit MBA is designed to give you real-world global business exposure, making sure you graduate with not only knowledge, but also hands-on experience. Now, let me give you some examples for that. So the Global Network for Advanced Management Network Immersion Weeks, where you get a chance to engage with other top-tier business schools and global business leaders. And international field trips. For example, this year was Singapore, and current students are there right now, where you gain first-hand experience in different economies and industries worldwide. An international consulting project, where you work with real companies tackling real business challenges across different sectors. And last but not least, the Capstone Consulting Project, which is a major hands-on project that synthesizes everything you have learned into a real business input. Now, these opportunities ensure that you don't just learn business theory, you actually experience business in action. Now, one of the most important questions prospective MBA students ask is, what career impact can I expect from this program? Well, at UCD Smurfit School, we are committed to ensuring that every MBA student receives tailored career development, access to top employers, and a strong alumni network that will support you not only during the MBA, but throughout your career. Now, let me walk you through what career services we offer across all our MBA programs, and then highlight the specific benefits of the full-time and executive MBA program. Now, regardless of whether you choose the full-time MBA or the executive MBA, you will have access to a comprehensive suite of career development resources designed to elevate your professional brand, connect you with top employers, and position you for career success. Now, generally speaking, every Smurfit MBA student will benefit from a one-to-one career consultations, which are personalized coaching sessions to define your career goals and strategies, a CV and LinkedIn profile building support, ensuring your professional brand stands out in today's super competitive job market, and alumni panels and networking events. So those are regular opportunities to engage with successful Smurfit alumni and gain industry insights. Many employer visits, which will give you direct interactions with top companies. Okay? So providing you exposure to hiring managers and industry leaders. Online training courses, giving you access to business and leadership skills development resources. And last but not least, an exclusive alumni LinkedIn group, which is a powerful global network of Smurfit MBA graduates to support career transitions and professional connections. Now, these career resources are not just additional perks, right? So they are integral to your MBA journey, ensuring you emerge from the program with the skills, confidence, and connections to accelerate your career. Now, if you are considering the full-time MBA, we are also offering the following. So first of all, a senior MBA alumni career mentors, which is about giving guidance from successful MBA alumni who can help shape your career strategy. Second, a professional psychometric benchmarking and assessment to give you personalized and customized insights into your leadership style and areas for growth. And last but not least, mock interviews with employers, which are realistic interview practices with recruiters to sharpen your skills before you graduate. Now, let me give you some quantitative data about the program performance. So our full-time MBA delivers outstanding career outcomes. Now, the average base salary 3 years after graduation is approximately 135K, which represents a 91% salary increase as compared to pre-MBA earnings. And this results into the program being ranked number 5 worldwide for value for money. So this means actually that within 3 years, graduates nearly double their salary and are well positioned for leadership roles in their chosen industry. Now, let me move to the Executive MBA program. And here, key features include a structured career development program, which is tailored to mid and senior level professionals aiming for executive roles, an alumni career masterclass, where you get industry-leading insights from top executives and Smurfit alumni, and an executive psychometric benchmarking that provides a deeper understanding of your leadership and decision-making strengths. Once again, some data. Here, the average base salary 3 years post-graduation is approximately equal, on average, to 165K, which represents a 57% salary increase compared to pre-MBA earnings. So for executives, this means significant career progression, whether in salary, leadership opportunities, or access to boardroom roles. Now, let's move to our location. So beyond the MBA itself, location matters, right? Where you study shapes your career opportunities. So why Ireland? So we have a highly developed, knowledge-based economy with strong sectors in technology, life sciences, finance, and agribusiness. Ireland is also one of the most stable and competitive economies in Europe, attracting leading global companies. With one of the youngest populations in Europe and an unemployment rate of just 4%, job opportunities here are very strong. And last but not least, a very personal consideration. I believe in multiple countries worldwide, and I always had a good time everywhere, honestly. Okay? But I have to admit that Ireland has something unique. And I'm saying this especially to non-Irish people in the audience. Irish people are amazing. I felt welcome from day zero, and you never really feel alone here. So now, why Dublin in particular? Dublin is a hub for global business, home to major multinational enterprises such as Google, Microsoft, Meta, and Pfizer. It's a dynamic, multicultural city with a high quality of life, good transport links, and a strong innovation ecosystem. It is also a green, sustainable city, making it an attractive destination for forward-thinking professionals. In sum, for anyone considering an MBA with global impact, Ireland and Dublin provide the perfect environment to learn, network, and growth. In closing my speech, the Smurfit MBA is more than just a degree. It's a transformational experience that will challenge you, broaden your horizons, and prepare you for leadership in an increasingly complex world. Thank you for your time, and I look forward to discussing how the Smurfit MBA can help you achieve your professional goals. Thanks a million.
Thanks, Luca, for covering a lot of ground and really highlighting the richness of our MBA program and the many opportunities that it offers to all our participants to really challenge themselves, but also grow into the transformational opportunities that the program offers to them. I now would like to welcome our panelists. We are very happy and very thankful to have a panel of alumni and current students from both our full-time MBA and our EMBA. And the purpose of the webinar more generally, but the session more specifically, is really to fill in all the details, the rich details on the experience, the considerations that our panelists had when they were on the other side of the webinar or when they were thinking about potentially doing an MBA, but also what happened since, their experience in the program, and also for those who are already alumni, where has the program taken them since? So to highlight the richness that our professional and personal development opportunities have offered for them. So I would like to, again, thank you all for joining us, and maybe start the panel with a brief introduction from each of you to give a sense of, where are you in the process, where are you in the journey, and where you are professionally as well. Maybe could I start just in terms of how you show in my screen? Could I start with you, Helen?
Yes, of course. Thank you very much for having me on. So my name is Helen Kern. I'm a second year MBA student. So I'm close to the finish line and have absolutely loved it. I am head of sustainability for Specsavers across UK and Ireland. And I've been with Specsavers now for 14 years.
Thank you so much, Helen. Thanks for presentation, as also for joining us today. Katrina.
Hi, everybody. My name is Katrina DePuer. Lovely to be here on the panel. I'm a first-year MBA student. I'm very jealous of Helen, who's almost at the finish line. So I'm really enjoying it so far. It's a really diverse cohort of people, very interesting. So I have a broad experience across global integrated marketing in the SaaS space, and I've recently set up my own e-mobility company. So it really felt like the right time for me to start an MBA. It's something that I've wanted to do for years, and I'm really enjoying it.
Thank you, Katrina. Rudy?
Hi, everyone. My name is Riddhi. I'm delighted to be here today. I'm originally from India, and I moved to Ireland back in 2023 to pursue my full-time MBA from UCD Smurfit. So I graduated last year, and I thoroughly enjoyed my experience here, and I've fallen for Ireland now. It's lovely here. And I am currently working at MasterCard as a senior technical program manager. And prior to my MBA, I was working in SaaS industry as a project manager for 5 years.
Thanks, Riddhi. Laura?
Hi, Federica. Thank you for having me. My name is Laura Kennedy. I completed the Executive MBA last year in 2024. So I began that in 2022. I work for UBS. They're a Swiss investment bank, and I'm based in New York. I just moved to New York with UBS last year. So actually, whilst I was in the midst of completing the last quarter of the MBA, which is definitely a testament to the flexibility of the MBA program. And I work as a business manager supporting 2 trading desks here in New York.
Thanks, everybody. Let's jump in with the first question then, that I think is one that is on the minds of a lot of our participants to the webinar. Could I ask then each of you to tell us more about when and why did an MBA become something you were thinking of as a next step in your careers? And feel free to jump in any order.
Yeah, I can. I'll go first, just keeping with the rhythm of where we were. So for me, really, it started back in 2023. I'd been with the business for quite a while. I'm an optician by trade, so I'm a dispensing optician. I've worked in optics for 20 plus years now. So it was a point in time where I'd worked in different fields within Specsavers, be that in our retail environment and our healthcare stores and businesses, or across marketing, our central operations functions, and most recently then I was in a retail relationship management role for Ireland and our audiology business. And I got to a point where I was very conscious that I was very knowledgeable of Specsavers, very knowledgeable of optics, but I wanted to broaden my understanding of where I was from a business perspective and leadership. And I'd done business leadership development throughout with Specsavers, learning and development courses. I'd also done a business sustainability course with Cambridge. So I kind of had an itch in terms of my future development. But what I was noticing was just that broader skill set that can really elevate you into senior leadership roles across the business. So I applied for it at a time where there wasn't a change in career opportunity there. And I felt like this would elevate my opportunities for career growth. So that's kind of where I pulled the plug and decided to apply.
Thanks, Helen. So very much transformation and next stage of career journey for you.
Yep.
Katrina, then?
I'll go next. Yeah, so as I said before, it has been on my radar for many years to do an MBA. I think similar to Helen, I wanted to have more kind of formal training in leadership and strategy. I have my education is in law, so I wanted to do something that could kind of broaden my skill set around leadership. You know, I've led a lot of different teams in the past, and I just thought it would really help me to develop as a leader and expose me to kind of interesting individuals that I could learn from.
Thank you. Again, like professional development and transformation very much at the front and center. Really?
Yeah, I think my story is quite similar to what Helen and Katrina already mentioned, just with a different background. So I'm a computer science engineer from my undergrad, and I started my career as a developer. So I have been able to switch that into techno-managerial roles. So I realized while I was able to deliver value, I actually wanted to upskill and build on shaping business strategies that are really impacting the projects and program I'm working. So building my leadership skills and strategy was the motivation behind considering MBA as an option for me.
Thank you so much. Laura?
I think I echo, very similar to what's been said before, but actually, in a funny way, my background was in IT also, so not exactly computer science to what really had done, but business and IT. And for me, I'm quite analytical by nature, and so in a similar vein to personal and professional development, I had that intention of essentially leveling up my career and wanting to get to this director stage that I'm at now. And I felt that perhaps undertaking the MBA would be a good stepping stone to what's next and to essentially gaining those leadership skills. So I definitely think it helped in that regard, because I think it gives you that top level, executive view when you're not so much in the weeds of certain things, but actually able to look across from a strategy standpoint, or those key decisions that keep top execs up at night. So I think that was from what I wanted to achieve out of the MBA, it absolutely met those expectations for me.
Thank you. And I think it comes across very strongly already from your answer to the first question, the ability of the MBA to really have a key role within a story, well, a story that in this case is a shared story of strong female leadership that very much is the trajectory within the MBA unlocks a lot of, I think we've heard transformation, we heard leadership. So I think it's very interesting for those joining our webinars to hear directly from your stories in this respect. And then if I can follow up on the prior question, why did you choose then, in the light of your choice to do an MBA, why did you choose to do an MBA at the Smurfit School? And to change it up, I'm going to start with Katrina this time.
Why did I choose to do an MBA in Smurfit?
Here, yes.
Yeah, Smurfit has a global, like a renowned reputation, and it's widely known as being an excellent MBA. And when I researched it over the years, it was always top of my list. And just the ability to kind of gain access to a network of individuals who've studied in Smurfit, it seems to be very open to building your career and your networking. And it's also very focused on that leadership development and the leap days, where you kind of are forced to reflect and say, okay, why am I doing this? I think Bernie said people either want to get out or get up, or kind of, go change their role internally, or move to a different role, or do something different. So I think it's a bit of a kind of a reflection point for a lot of people when they do an MBA in their careers, similar to what Helen mentioned in work.
Thank you, Katrina. Now, Ridi?
Yeah, so for me, selecting a B school was essentially one of the crucial decisions, given that I was planning to move across the world to do this MBA. So I had a certain criteria when I was looking for the B school. One of those things definitely was the strong academic rigor, which Smurfit definitely meets the criteria for me. And then second part of it was the diverse cohort and the global exposure that we get. So upon doing the research and going through these seminars, webinars, talking to alumni, I was able to understand where UCD actually stands, the MBA program that is so highly ranked. Now it's 73 or 74th globally. So for me, that was one of the selling points, and it checked all the boxes that I had in my list. And additionally, I also feel, given that I was moving abroad, I was also looking for MBA programs and schools that were offering some sort of financial support as well through scholarships and bursaries. So Smurfit has a good range of scholarship for folks who are coming in. So that really helped push my decision towards Smurfit being my option for doing my MBA.
Thanks, Ridi. And we will touch, just you mentioned scholarship, we will touch on that along with our admission criteria at the end of the Q&A section. Laura, could I throw you in now?
Sure. So in terms of why Smurfit, I'd never studied in Dublin. I'm from Cork originally. And actually, I've no professional connections in Ireland either. I've always worked in London and now here. And so for me, I was looking at, like from a selection of a school in terms of doing my MBA, obviously looked at Smurfit as the top business school in Ireland, and looked at the rankings and the accreditation that it had. And for me, I just really set my sights on this is where I would like to go when I applied. And then as you said, we'll come on to it, but in terms of scholarship, I felt that it was not necessarily going to be maybe affordable at that point in time. I'd been accepted onto the MBA, but I was just after buying a house, and then I thought, oh my God, how am I going to do this? But again, as we'll touch on in a second, there's superb funding and scholarships available to the MBA program across the board, and so I was very fortunate to receive a scholarship as well.
Thank you so much, Laura. Helen, your view.
Yeah, so similar to Laura, so my undergrad was actually in Glasgow, Caledonian University, and although I'm from Meath, I've no affiliation to Dublin, so I never studied there. I had a couple of friends who went to UCD, but what drew me into UCD was actually the accessibility of being able to talk to people about it. So I'm whilst it can have all the best rankings that a university has, it's actually, what are the people like that I'm going to be engaging with on a regular basis. And from day zero, when I expressed interest, being able to talk to the faculty or talk to previous students or current students and get the insight from them, that really made me feel like UCD was a place that culturally fit with me alongside the accreditations and the rankings, that it was really important to have that accessibility.
Thank you so much, all of you. And I think it really comes across the rankings, but also the people and the friendly atmosphere and the general experience in the school. Now, in terms of the place probably where the thinking of a lot of the participants is at the moment, what was maybe on the front of your mind? What was maybe something like a concern or a thought really on embarking on the MBA that's maybe worth sharing with our participants? start with you, maybe Reddy this time.
Yeah. So I think when I was starting, one of the biggest concerns for me was stepping away from the structured, growing career that I had in India, moving away from that stable career and taking a financial risk as well when moving abroad and doing this investment in myself, upskilling. And it's more like a bet to me because I would be in a new country altogether, building a new professional network here. Would I be able to go back to the job market in a new country, and how would that be? So these were a couple of concerns that were there in my mind. And I think my approach to this was just to maximize every opportunity that came my way, be it through academics, networking, and whatever the MBA program had to offer. And I think that eased my concern along the journey.
Thank you, Reddy. Laura?
For me, I guess one of the concerns initially was, you meet this incredible group of people, and I'm so grateful for the network that I have now. And there's definitely a feeling of imposter syndrome a little bit when you join. So I definitely think I experienced that. But it is a really great bunch of people, and I think Katrina maybe mentioned before, you really learn from each other as part of this experience. And so, as the connection grew amongst the class and the cohort over the 2 years, I found that if anything, you were just really able to gain value and insights from people in the same and share those too as part of class discussions. So although definitely was quite nervous, I remember going in that very first day. We had a really great class group, and I was really lucky to be part of them.
Thank you, Laura. So about the people then.
For sure.
And Helen.
Yeah, I think similar to what Laura said, like the imposter syndrome. So one of the things was, am I smart enough? Like, will there be people in here that, like, can I add value? And particularly because I'm in such a niche, optics and audiology, it's such a niche area. I'm kind of like, well, do I have any wider knowledge to give? Like, am I just going to be soaking up everything from everyone else in the room? And that was a real concern. And I think what Laura's just said is actually everyone brings something out of each other that you might not think that you have that experience or that knowledge to give. But it's not just about your professional life, it's also about your personal development and what you've taken and what you've learned. And I think the cohort really makes it that you're with, and having that freedom for debate, freedom for discussion, and also having an environment that allows a good sense of humor back and forth with the lecturers as well, and debate, which was a real, like, that is the biggest highlight for me is the people that I've been with and still am with, but being able to learn from them and their expertise in both their professional and personal lives.
Thank you, Helen. Katrina?
Yeah, so I think I had similar feelings my first day going into the MBA class. I always try and think of nervousness as excitement. I try and say it's the same emotion, but certainly there was a going back to school sort of a feeling because, when people describe an MBA, it does sound like a huge undertaking, and it is, but I think that I think it's really exciting just being exposed to all of those different viewpoints. And certainly it feels like it's a complementary sort of a class where there's people from all different backgrounds. So yeah, it being a huge undertaking. And I think for me, time was a concern of mine because I have a busy job, I have a busy family life. Just how would I juggle everything and do well? Because anybody going into an MBA, you will see across the class that everybody's really ambitious, everybody's really smart, everyone's in great jobs, great backgrounds. There's PhD students, or not students, graduates. So yeah, you're going into an interesting class with very smart people. So you want to do well. So time management was certainly something that I was concerned about.
Thanks all for your views on your concern thinking about doing an MBA. But now, obviously, you've all joined. So maybe thinking of your experience, whether it's a current experience or is a recent experience, what would you say was maybe a couple of highlights that really, if you were to describe the MBA, these ones are the MBA for you? Maybe Helen, I'll start again with you.
Yeah, no problem. So I think there's a few, like I've said, I've touched on it. One of the big highlights, obviously, is the cohort and the individuals that we're learning from, and the accessibility of the lecturers. But one thing that really sticks out to me, and I think it goes back to my earlier comment on culture. So I'm neurodiverse. I got my ADHD diagnosis while I was doing the first year of the executive MBA, and wholeheartedly, if I could just sum up one experience, it was how supportive Smurfit was, and particularly Sinead, who is our module coordinator, just in terms of the support that they gave in giving me access to information, giving me that understanding to my lectures. And it was, it might be a small thing. Not everyone goes through those kind of learnings, but or developments and diagnoses, but it was really just absolutely blew me away with the level of support that was given, and to accommodate for the different changes that I might need within classroom learning, or timelines and extenuating circumstances. So when you look at the flexibility of it, and you think, can I do this? What does this happen? And you go in and you've got all your ducks in a row and you could be as planned. But if something like a curveball hits, whether it's personal life or, I don't know, a professional situation, the flexibility and support of the UCD faculty to help you, and of course the classmates you have, but that's a real big one for me. I just think it was outstanding to have that level of support. And then again, I think the within that diagnosis as well, it was being able to talk about when it was difficult or when challenges came about, and how it was structured around, yes, giving me the best learning outcome and supporting me, but also, really being a platform to discuss on a wider space what these challenges might have, and looking at how we could maybe educate other colleagues or classmates within the UCD Smurfit or outside on the challenges, because something like that is anything we'll experience in leadership with our teams, or our colleagues in our businesses will have something like that. So yeah, that's probably the big one for me.
Thanks, Helen. So flexibility and community.
Yeah,
Katrina?
yeah.
Thank you, Helen, for sharing your story. I would also agree that Sinead is extremely kind, as are the rest of the team. And I certainly do feel like the support is there. I think for me, another highlight has been just the people. I've really enjoyed meeting everybody, learning about their backgrounds. I think I can learn something from everybody that I meet. Another thing for me, I suppose, is just taking time to reflect on my career journey, because I feel like sometimes life goes at a really fast pace and you don't actually sit down and say, right, what direction am I going in? What are the areas I want to develop? So it's given me an opportunity to do something for myself and really think about my career development.
Thanks, Katrina. So thinking point and a reflection point. Rudy?
Yeah, I think I'll say two things would be the highlight. First, definitely is the learning and the people, the cohort and the entire UCD staff member, everyone. Like, all of that has helped me be a better version of myself, I'd say. You learn from your cohort members when working in groups and like when we're abroad traveling together. So there was like a lot of meaningful connections have come out of it. And like I can now say that I have a small group of close friends and family here. And versus when I moved, I had no one and nobody here. So that has been one great highlight for me, both personally and professionally. And the second, I would say, in terms of the MBA program, was I really liked the global exposure that it gave, starting from the GNAM module to the field trips and then the consulting trip and the capstone. So I really liked how it touched bases with real world problem solving, as in when we are learning academically. So that was the highlights for me, I say.
So rich experience in many ways.
Yep.
Thanks, Rudy. Laura?
Again, I am echoing what's been said, because the people and the faculty at Smurfit are just like really top notch. And I think there's two other things that I would add to it. Helen mentioned it, but there are going to be times when it's just going to be really challenging, whether that's personally or professionally. People go through periods whereby it's you might be going through a particularly stressful project at work, and you rely again on the people in your class group, and maybe to be able to pick up some of the slack that you'll kind of give back in other ways at another point. So I found that there's definitely highs and lows during the 2 years if it's the EMBA, but it's just a positive feeling. in like overall. And then there's, sorry, I said two, but I've actually got two more. Another one is the Prague, the class trip that we went on to Prague. You know, really mentioned it in terms of the field trips. There are some incredible global experiences that you get to undertake. And our class getting to go on our international trip to Prague was superb. We got to undertake incredible consulting work with some companies there, and then also just had great crack while we were there, so that was really fun. And finally, I would touch on the capstone project, which is the final project that you undertake in year 2, and it's essentially a rounding out of all of your learning throughout the 2 years of the program. A very challenging undertaking, don't get me wrong, but it's very you know, I guess similar to actually what Katrina said in terms of the kind of personal reflection and doing something for yourself. I think when you get to that point of the capstone, you really reflect on everything that you've learned in the 2 years, and it's a really nice way to kind of round out the experience, thinking, wow, like I've really come a long way. So you know, whilst I think when you're in the midst of it, it's a bit like, oh my God, at the end, it's a really great way to finish off. It feels like such a high to complete that capstone at the end. So yeah, I think those were the highlights for me.
Thanks, Laura. And you've highlighted a few things that I think came out from our presentation before that Luca gave, the global experiences and the immersive applied hands-on projects. So those are all great points that you all raised. In terms then of now that you are on the program, or you've gone through the program, how would you say the program has contributed to your growth, and personally or professionally in your career trajectory? You've touched already on some points, but just making it even more explicit. Maybe starting with you, Katrina.
Yeah, I think that it has equipped me with that strategic mindset in assessing problems and just looking at the bigger picture and looking at different angles. I think in terms of leadership, it's also developed me a lot in just understanding kind of some of the different methods of management